Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. You just heard some of Big HOMiE. The last 15 minutes, it was a great 3-song set. LA, I'm sitting here with him right now, LA Buckner, one of the greatest drummers in the city. I can say that confidently.
That's very kind.
I can say it confidently, man.
Thank you.
Tell me, how you feeling after that performance?
I feel good. I feel
That's great.
Confident. We've been working on this backing track thing, this in-ear monitor thing, getting the Ableton right. And I'm grateful to have David Feely and David Smith, the tech nerds.
Yeah, definitely.
Who, gonna work it out.
Yeah.
They always work it out.
Tell me about your band. Give me some names and instruments for the people listening.
Myself on drums. I got my cousin Jamani Buckner. I've been playing with Jamani for years in church, right? But
Cool.
I got him on the Big HOMiE gig now. We got David Feely on guitar.
Yeah.
A legend here in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities. David Feely on guitar, legend. David Smith, a legend in the making, current U of M student, about to graduate in May, right? Producer extraordinaire. I said extraordinaire producer-naire. That's code. That's code. Now, producer extraordinaire work with the likes of Jasmine Sullivan, SZA, Victoria Monet. The list goes on. Giveon. The list goes on and on.
It's
right?
crazy. It's crazy.
I have my buddy Jovan, a former student of mine from SPCPA. Jovan is on the sax, and we have a show coming up Monday at the Dakota. But Ethan Yeshaya will be on bass for that.
Okay. Very nice. Same group, though, other than that?
Same group. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get into the songs that you just performed, if we can, please. Those first two tracks, can you give me the titles for them?
The first two tracks were Da-Da-Dun.
Da-Da-Dun.
Because it sounds like Da-Da-Dun, Da-Da-Dun.
Right.
David Smith said that's the superhero or the villain, a theme song.
Okay.
You know, I see it like that. I like that. Thank you for that, Smith. The second one we played was a new tune called Looking to the Hills.
Okay. And I heard you talking about it before. You were talking about some imagery that was going through your head.
Yeah.
Can you give me the spiel on that?
Well, in the Bible, the children of Israel, they were stressed out. They was looking like, we look to the hills and we ask, where comes our help? Where will our help come from?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking to the hills in my own city, being a black man in Minneapolis, asking like, okay, when are we gonna get some retribution around here? When is it going? When is our time going to come? When is our help going to come? So I'm looking to the hills. That's where that song comes from.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay. And then that third one, Fireflies. Can I have David? Can you come over and speak on it just real quick? Keyboardist David Smith wrote this one, the Fireflies. Awesome track. I want to ask you. I've seen on social media that you originally produced this as like for Shed Tracks, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So did you envision this being played with Big HOMiE?
Not at first. Like when I just made it. I made it originally back in 2020. I just wanted to make a track to just play drums to.
Yeah.
And just
you play drums too?
Yeah, I do. That was my first instrument, actually.
Oh, okay.
But there's a reason we got LA on the drums instead of me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so I originally just made it to just play drums to, send out the drummers, and then eventually when I got involved more with Shed Tracks, for people who don't know, it's a website where drummers can go to. It's a one-stop shop for play-along tracks for drummers, so that way they can always find something created by amazing producers to be able to play to and make covers to. So it's a wonderful resource. And like, I don't remember exactly when I was thinking we should do Fireflies for the band. I don't know if I recommended it or if you did, but I just always thought it would be really interesting to like play one of my songs like live with the band, because I've never done that before.
Yeah.
So just to be able to have that opportunity to play a song of mine and like hear people's reactions is such an amazing feeling that I don't think will ever get old to me.
Yeah, I think it fits the vibe wonderfully too. I mean, of the group of Big HOMiE, I think it's wonderful. We were talking about this before we went on. There's bits of the Minneapolis sound in there, definitely, especially when you break it down, the funky part. Is that something that you put in there consciously, or is that something that just kind of lives in you?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like,
okay.
Like funk is my favorite genre.
Okay.
If anything, like I'm always gonna find a way to make something funky. Like especially with my tracks, I'll have like a main section, then I'll have like another section, but then I'll always just throw in a section that completely you wouldn't expect. So the funky section that you hear in Fireflies is that section where I was like, oh, okay, let's just throw in like some funky chords, some Minneapolis sound, Prince, Morris Day, The Time, Jimmy Jam, like all of them. That sound I want to continue to put out, because somebody has to continue the Minneapolis sound.
Definitely. And you're putting your own flavor in it too. So
Yep,
so it's
gotta add
evolving.
something new.
It's evolving. Great. Well, thanks for speaking on that. If I can get LA to come back,
Sure,
I
thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah. Cool. So LA, I know that you're from the North Side, correct? Is that correct?
Yep.
What does it mean to you to be a musician from the North Side? And what about kind of the community and the history there kind of fostered you as a musician?
Totally, that's a great question. But as David was saying, it's kind of like in us. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the same neighborhood as Prince and Jimmy Jam and
Yeah.
Morris Day. I went to the same high school as Morris Day, and you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like it's a responsibility, low key, to like. Minneapolis is a band and musician culture city. Our musician culture is like bands and artists and instrumentalists who would be like ultra killing, right?
Right.
But we are like a flyover city, you know what I mean? So, but we have a responsibility to hone our craft, rehearse as much as we can, be as dope as we can at whatever we do, if even music or not. You know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 40 #1 hits
Yeah, that's crazy.
from the North Side. You know what I'm saying? So there's something in the water there, and I do it super on purpose too. I'll be real North Side, real Minneapolis on purpose with the chord choices, with the groove choices, because everybody around the world trying to sound like Minneapolis too. A bunch of gospel cats, the top cats in the world. All they listen to is Morris Day and them. You could hear it in their music. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be true to my neighborhood, true to the history.
Do you think that in the future Minneapolis will continue to be a flyover city, or do you think things are going to change? That people are going to start giving recognition?
Things have been changing
They've been, okay.
slowly, not at the rate that we wish would happen. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
want to see everybody in Minneapolis really making it on a major level. We got crazy hoopers here. We got crazy chefs and education dentists and doctors here. But I want Minnesota to be one of the main spots. So
Yeah.
I try to take culture from every other city I go to
Right.
and bring it back home.
Okay, cool. I want to go back to you growing up in the North Side. I've heard you talk a lot about the Black church being a big place where you develop your musicianship. What are kind of the advantages of becoming a musician within the church?
That's another great question. I feel like Black church is like the most intense form of training you could receive. You know,
Yeah.
all American music came from Black church.
Right.
Rock and roll, country, blues, folk, all of it came from Black church. Right. That's the greatest training ground for a kid. You're surrounded by these OG musicians who's killing. So all you see is just killing musicians. Like what you hear, the language you speak, you're gonna learn how to speak that language.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that standard is high.
The
too.
standard is really high,
Yeah.
and you're performing in front of people all the time, every week, on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So when I got to college, my performance it was already there because I've been doing this in church my whole life. So it's
Yeah.
a training, especially for musicians. But church will teach you anything you want to do: how to talk to people, how to work in relationships and dynamics in a group, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? From the usher board to the whatever, to the musician team. So it's like, yeah, I attribute everything I learned musically. The dopest stuff I do came straight from church.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And did you study music in school when
I
you?
did.
Okay.
I did.
And
But I was leaning more on the church stuff.
Yeah, you were.
Even when it came to reading music, as soon as I seen the sheet of music, I'm memorizing it right away.
Really?
Leaning on the church side. Ear training, leaning on church.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that you think the church developed you more than school did for you?
Much more so than school. And
Wow.
even when I was in college, I was playing with the community choir, and we was gigging like crazy, playing funerals and banquets and basketball games, and 2 gigs. And we had MLK Day. We had 3 gigs on one day. So that was college for me. Gigging as a musician, that group, Deliverance for Youth, that was college. That was my college experience, not school. I would skip class and go YouTube with folks, you know what I'm saying, and learn. That's the school portion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. All right. Cool.
College is about your friends, guys. Get the
It
work
really
done.
is.
Get the schoolwork done. You know what I'm saying? But it's about creating businesses with your friends.
Totally.
Ooh, this is college radio. Ooh, don't say that. No, for real. That's the truth, though.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. You were saying that earlier too. I think it's a great message. Now I want to move on to Big HOMiE. Kind of. First of all, what did you do before Big HOMiE? You formed this group.
I was playing in a bunch of other people's bands, being a side.
So this is your
man.
first solo project then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my music, my vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you want to create your own solo project then?
I was being the only black man in all white spaces. And I couldn't even invite my family to shows because they'd be getting harassed or they don't respect you off the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't, before they see what you do, you get treated way less than. So I can't be traveling to the Midwest, Iowa, and only North Dakota and Wisconsin in these super racist environments.
Right.
So I got to do my own music, black music, with my people. You know what I'm saying? And so I can invite my aunties to the show.
Yeah,
And
totally.
they won't get harassed by the weird drunk folks in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to do my thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That's cool. Tell me about the sentiment behind the name Big Homie. I've heard you speak on it before, but
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting concept.
Big homie is a term of endearment.
Yeah.
It's like a mentor or a teacher, but your big homie can be younger than you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I use it. My students be big homies sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a mentor, a teacher, somebody that shows you the way. You know.
Yeah.
I call everybody a big homie. You know what I'm saying? And it's my calling in life too. I realize my role is mentorship.
Right.
Right. My calling in life is like to reach out and show people the way, show love. Right. My vehicle is just the drums. The vehicle to do that is just the
Right.
music. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And you're an educator too, right? You're
Yeah,
teaching. Where are you teaching at right now?
I teach independently. I teach through McPhail.
Okay.
I was working at a 9 to 5 in high school.
Yeah.
I'm back to being an artist now, rock and roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, teaching is part of the mentorship. That's my calling.
Totally. Okay, cool. I'm going to talk about just briefly your project that you have out for Big Homie, the album. It hit #1 on the iTunes jazz charts. What was that like? What was that feeling for you?
I didn't think it was real. When I was looking
Yeah.
at it, I was just like, hold up,
I saw-
refresh. Hold on, is this real? So it was there for about 6 days. It was dope.
Yeah,
It
I
was
saw
dope.
on your screenshot it was red above kind of blue. So like, what was that? What was it like to see that?
But that was just the community. That was a community that was like people really tapping in and buying it. You know, whether it was social media or word of mouth or just people. Like I feel like it was my church family, it was my neighborhood, my Northside family who really copped the album, who bought it, because the sales is what makes the numbers go up, right? Who actually downloaded it and paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So the people really just tapping in made it go #1.
Okay.
I think it could have been with the connection with the PBS thing. I do the show for PBS on YouTube. It's called Soundfield. It's a music education show. That could have played a part into it, but that was still really early on. So I don't know how it went #1. I did a lot of press preparation and stuff, but it was a huge blessing, you know. And it showed that like if you go hard in your city, it could work. Minneapolis, it could work. In Minneapolis, it could work. And I ain't the only one to ever go #1 for Minneapolis. Javante Patton, a gospel artist, stay going #1. Anything he put out go #1 on Billboard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we gotta. It's that responsibility to greatness that we have, a mantle to carry.
Totally. Was there a specific message that you kind of trying to drive home with that project there? Was there something kind of, or was it just
I think the music does it
right?
for me. Like listening to the music, I gotta catch my breath after every song. Like
Me too, man.
you know what I'm saying? But I wonder like why is this everything so intense? But like that's really my truth though. That's my experience being a black man in Minneapolis, where the international news, police killings in Minneapolis, 6 people. You know what I'm saying? 6 black folks. Let's show you how Minneapolis police would it be like in Minnesota. So like my feelings, that's my truth. My music is my truth, and it's all the feelings that I can't even express in words.
Right.
So that's what the music does for me.
Okay, cool. The single that you released after that album, Not Today, Karen, Not Today, that one feels like it has a pretty specific message in there, right?
You know what I'm saying?
And that was released in 2021, is that correct?
Yeah.
Did that have things to do with what was going on in Minneapolis during that time? Or
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And it's just like, if I told y'all the stuff I go through, it would sound like it was exaggerated. Y'all wouldn't believe, you know what I'm saying, every day, just simple little tiny, so I don't even get into it, but the music does that for me.
Right.
The music expresses everything I want to say.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, you mentioned the PBS Soundfield before. I just kind of want to ask you about that because I'm curious about it. How were you contacted for that role? Because it's a pretty big deal, man.
It is a big deal.
It's
and
awesome.
It fell into my lap, literally. I played drums on the album for a friend of mine, Toussaint Morrison. He's an activist here in the city, an artist, musician, and he hosted another show, a different show for PBS called America from Scratch. Okay. And he said his producer hit him up. He's like, "Yo, we need a musician to host a music education show." And when they called me, the producer called me, I thought it was like a one-time ordeal. I'm like, "Yeah, cool, yeah, I'll host the show." And then I show up to TBT in the boardroom, and it's like it's catered food, and it's like they done flew people in from Toronto and all over. And I was just like, oh, like this is a series, a web series, a show? Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna host it. Let's do it. They just want somebody, a musician who could verify things. So people think I be coming up with all these facts on my own. Like, no. There's like 7 people who research and write the script. I just present it in
You have a
cool
great
way.
delivery, I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. But I be learning just as much as every viewer learns. Like reading the script and memorizing those paragraphs is like wow, this is like the best way to say that fact. Okay, boom. You know.
Totally. What kind of doors has this opened for you? You talked about how maybe it helped with your album kind of reaching those higher numbers, but what else has it done for you?
I made a promise to my grandma that I was going to use my voice some more. She said, "You too talented to be sitting behind them drums the whole time." I was like, okay, Granny, so you need to be singing. I was like, I'm not going to sing, but I did want to use my voice some more, and that's been a way. I think God blessed me with that gift to just use my voice more, and I've been able to go to panels and travel, meet my favorite artists and celebrities, and talk to my favorite battle rappers, and meet Herbie Hancock, all off of the PBS plug. You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, it's opened mad doors, and I still feel like it hasn't even done all of what it's really going to do for me. You know, we got the Webby Awards, and that's dope too. But like, I still feel like it's still in its beginning stages. We 4 seasons in now, so plenty of episodes. Y'all should definitely go check it out. Soundfield on YouTube, you'll dig it. Yeah. But it's still opening doors, man.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite episode that you've done?
Yo, this season has been crazy. Look, when COVID first struck, I wanted to do this battle rap episode, but we couldn't do it. Like the flight restrictions, it was great. But now we just released a battle rap episode a week ago. I talked to Smack White, the creator of Smack DVD, and like URL battle rap. Talked to 2 battle rappers, so I'm really excited about that. Our brand new episode is a Lauryn Hill episode, and it's talking about like
that
how
dropped
she
today, didn't it?
Dropped today, or I think yesterday.
Okay.
But talking like how she became so critically acclaimed with only 1 album. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on everybody's no skip list, if you will.
Right,
so
definitely.
But there's so many topics like blues, gospel music. It's like pop punk music. Who created trap music? How did James Brown invent funk? It's like so many, and it comes from like a cultural kind of aspect too. Talking about how banjo is really an African instrument, and it's just like it's all over the place. So there's something for everybody. The show is from people ages 9 to 99.
Yeah,
if you like music education, you'll dig it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. We're getting to time here. I just want to leave you with one more question. It's kind of a fun one.
Sweet.
So I want you to build your dream bill. Right, you get to play, you get to open for it. But what other 3 artists? You get 3 artists dead or alive that get to play with you, or groups, artists or groups.
This is so difficult to even think about. But I would need like I would have to have my greatest musical influence is Stokely Williams from In Condition. He's an artist here. He's a huge mentor. He's low key your favorite musician's favorite musician. He's a legend. Okay, to some of the greatest musicians in the world, right? Stokely for sure. I want Miles in some configuration. Low key, I want the Miles Quintet with Tony and Ron and Herbie. Rest in peace, Wayne Shorter.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Wayne. Gotta say it. Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, I would like that Miles Quintet.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll say Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Okay.
How about that? The godmother of rock and roll. She big homie Chuck Berry and Lil Richard, who big homie James Brown. She's the creator of rock and roll. Sister Rosetta Tharpe started in the Black church.
That's everything right there. That would be a wonderful show. Wonderful show. Yeah, I would definitely go to that. All right, cool. Well, that's about it. You have anything else you want to say to our Radio K listeners?
Radio K is so dope. The U of M is super dope. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you so much, LA. Thank you, Big Homie. Stick around until 5. We're going to be playing some more local music until then. You're listening to Radio K, Real College Radio.